The 10th episode of Macy's Parade Rank the Songs is officially here. And for today, we're going into another year other than 2005 that I think introduced me to the Macy's Parade, and that was in the year 2006. A year that was notable for being the 80th anniversary parade. So much so that History Channel made a documentary about the parade that did got a DVD release. For the telecast on NBC, joining the booth with Matt Lauer and Al Rooker was the new co-host of The Today Show and the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Meredith Vieira. However, high winds were expected to appear with the addition of pouring rain, like in 1998. But the balloons managed to fly, including the new ones, a brand new Snoopy balloon, a new Pikachu balloon that makes his cheeks light up, and the advertising icon that keeps going and going and going, the Energizer Bunny. It also features the debut of this particular Santa Claus that we still see in the parade from this year onwards. But also it features some very notable celebrities that we growed up with from my generation, to be precise, as we got 27 songs here to bring in some of the most memorable moments of this year. This is my ranking of the songs of the 2006 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Number 27, Who Likes Christmas and You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch by the cast of Broadway's Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. From a 1966 TV special to a 2000 live-action movie, and now to the stage on Broadway as a musical on adapting Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, as they bring us the first songs of each of the acts. The opening number of Act 1, Who Likes Christmas, performed by the citizens of Whoville, and the opening number of Act 2, the very famous song, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, performed by the Grinch and the both Maxes, the one in the story, and Old Max, who's the narrator. Well, I don't know how the stage musical goes, but with these numbers here, I just don't think these musical tones they have for both of these didn't work. With Who Likes Christmas, it didn't feel like a song that the Who's would sing, except for their hit, of course, and the costumes they wore were so pink. And bringing their hit, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, hey, that's my song, it didn't work well, especially having both Maxes sing it. They should have stick with just one. So he's the meanest, mean one to stuff up the presents in the tree, but I think Boris Karloff and Jim Carrey are better. Number 26, Give Me a Drum by Camp Broadway. To open the pre-parade acts, the kids of Camp Broadway performs an original song dedicated to the 80th parade, written by William Skimmerhorn and Michael Feinstein, Give Me a Drum. Honestly, the previous year of giving Camp Broadway something about the holiday was thankful, but not so much for a drum. I think William and Michael could have just gotten us better lyrics, and I know that they're kids, but it's just odd to hear their voices when they say, Give me a drum. And somewhat mixed with the costumes here, and this is not on William Skimmerhorn's SoundCloud page. Give me a hand here so I can help. Maybe I might have them sing 76 trombones, or should I say 80 trombones. Number 25, Get Up by Sierra. Mixing R&B, and I would have to say hip-hop for her dancing, Sierra Wilson released her second album, and one of the songs that got a single release months before the album came out, and also in the soundtrack for the film Step Up, she rings the alarm at track number 12 with her smash hit, Get Up. Now, I don't think this song is bad or anything like that. It's just, I'm really confused with the song, mainly of my history with this. Because I always thought that the main audio of the song was in the music video, not in the album. It's different and a bit faster in the audio. Even some of the lyrics are different or in another position in the song. I mean, I don't even know what the next set of lyrics are, which making me not remembering any of the lyrics kind of makes me want to skip this song, and almost being a 5-minute song is kind of a waste of my time. Also, the parade performance went a bit fast as well, and I would say incomplete. I mean, Sierra should have got a little bit more time here. If there is anything I could say about this song, is that the only thing I will remember the most is actually the feature artist of the song, Chamillionaire. His part is the easiest to remember the lyrics to, and the only thing to jam because it was a great rap in his part. But we can't count him, of course, because he wasn't in the parade with Sierra. As we know, songs with featured artists tends to struggle with these rankings. Her club is jumping that I have her low here, but just how confusing the song is, which is not surprising how mixed the album was by critics, I can understand why. Number 24, Mysterious Ways by the cast of Broadway's The Color Purple. Alice Walker's 1982 novel The Color Purple, which was adapted into a movie 3 years later by Steven Spielberg, comes to Broadway in 2005, and on its second year, the cast got to perform the opening number of the song, Mysterious Ways. I will be honest, I wasn't really into the number when I first heard it back when the 2006 parade was fully uploaded to YouTube. Visiting it years later, I can understand how it became a hit, especially this number alone. I mean, if you listen to the album of this, I was surprised how fast-paced it was, even if it's only 5 minutes. It felt like it was 3. And the tone made me go to church of this musical. The parade performance, however, went a bit fast. Unlike Get Up, it did took its time, but I just think they could have went into the tone like we heard in the soundtrack. And when I try to remember this song, I keep forgetting the lyrics for some reason. Not any criticisms there, it's just a problem for me at least. Now, I understand what the setting of The Color Purple is, and the fact that we're getting a film adaptation of the musical planned right now for this December, we could see a major awards attraction for next year's movie awards season. We'll see how those ways for this musical goes for God's Word. Number 23. One, Reprise, and Finale by the cast of Broadway's A Chorus Line. The highly acclaimed 1975 musical Chorus Line comes back for its first Broadway revival in 2006, and it was not easy to top over the original version 31 years prior in terms of the casting. So much so that there was a documentary about the casting of this revival that was released in 2008 called Every Little Step. In fact, 2 of those stars of this revival would be well known years later. Tony Yazbek would go and star in the Broadway musical revival of On the Town, and Allison Porter would become the winner of season 10 of The Voice 10 years later. And for the parade, instead of the main version of the number, they instead went with the reprise of the number 1 with the finale. Now, I haven't listened to the original cast version, so I can't judge it on that. Just going by this version, I think the cast recording is alright, and honestly, I think the main version of 1 is better than the reprise based on the soundtrack, but I will give it that the parade performance is better than the one on the soundtrack, probably seeing the choreography was better than listening to it. One smile and suddenly nobody else will do. Is this revival the one for me? Not really. Number 22. Oklahoma Rising by Sandi Patty. Months away from Oklahoma's 100th birthday and to end its journey in the parade, gospel star Sandi Patty performs Jimmy Webb and Vince Gill's song Oklahoma Rising. Now you can tell I prefer Kristen Chenoweth's performance on this float last year over Sandi Patty's. Mainly because how can you top a Rodgers and Hammerstein song over a Webb and Gill song? And not much very familiar with the lyrics, I will give it that her voice does work well, especially to the end. And the way how she sings is, we're Oklahoma rising up to be the best Oklahoma as you turn 100 of your statehood next year. Although you guys would not be in next year's parade, unfortunately. Number 21. Bumblebee Buzz by the Laurie Berkner Band with Susie Lampert and Adam Bernstein. If you had the Nick Jr. Network noggin in the 2000s, or watched the show Jack's Big Music Show, one of the recurring guest musicians was the Laurie Berkner Band. As Laurie Berkner, along with 2 of the members of the band, Susie Lampert and Adam Bernstein, performs Bumblebee Buzz, which the version you hear is not in any of the albums compared to the video they did for Noggin and the Macy's Parade. Just to mention here, I don't get it on having seen a bumblebee at a music show, a pizza place, or even a popcorn stand makes no sense. And for the parade performance, I gotta say, great pairing with them by putting them in the Fisher-Price float. But I'm wondering why they didn't have any instruments, and you could still hear a little bit of the performance when the hosts were starting to talk about the JoJo balloon. Bumblebee, can't you see? It's just you and me that this song's not really my thing. It's better not one, not two, but 6 songs more so. Number 20, Believe from the Polar Express by Natalie Grant. Last year, Brian McKnight ended the celebrity roster of the 2005 parade by performing the Oscar-nominated song Believe from the 2004 movie The Polar Express. This year, Natalie Grant takes the helm to end the celebrity roster of 2006 with her rendition of Believe, which is odd that she had a Christmas album the year prior called Believe, but that song is not on the album. I will give it this. It is a better parade performance because it was longer. Only issue this time is that I wish the music from the film was here like last year. Don't get me wrong, the music in here was fine and it perfectly matched her voice. But with this being a parade exclusive and not part of her Believe album is a differ. And there is a song she wrote in the album called I Believe, but it's not the I Believe you think for the Macy's parade audiences at home. The Polar Express finally reaches its destination to Herald Square because the word believe would be something used in about 2 years from now we just mentioned. Number 19, See With Your Heart by Gloria Estefan. Legendary Latin singer Gloria Estefan published her second book based on one of her dogs, Noelle, with Noelle's Treasure Tales. And the book comes with a CD of a single song written for her book, See With Your Heart. Having this song on this vacation, Jamaican, beach style really works well with the music. The lyrics, some of them that I read, I don't get it. It might have more of a connection when it comes to the book, and also since this was a CD exclusive to the book, you can't get this on any digital platforms at all. And remember, YouTube cannot count. And also, I wish that there was a Latin version of this song. Will be amazed, will be surprised, what will I find? Well, a soothing vacation song, but not for the cold holiday on Thanksgiving for a prize. Number 18, It's All About Tonight by Darlene Love and the Dynamites from Broadway's Hairspray. Well known for her hit Marshmallow World, Darlene Love was currently on Broadway playing Motormouth Maybelle in Broadway's Hairspray, as she joins with the current Dynamites performed from William Skimmerhorn's review Free to Dream, It's All About Tonight. Now, listening to the full song, which is on Skimmerhorn's SoundCloud page, I really like the parade performance. I think it could have been a bit better if it was a bit longer. But Darlene Love kills it with her voice, and I do respect her more after I saw the 2013 Oscar-winning documentary 20 Feet from Stardom. Now, it's all about her night for the Macy's Parade. Number 17. Ordinary Miracle from Charlotte's Web by Sarah McLachlan. A second film adaptation of E.B. White's 1952 book Charlotte's Web was going to be released next month, this time in a live-action film from Nickelodeon. The film includes an original song from the movie called Ordinary Miracle, performed by Sarah McLachlan. It's not that unusual for a touching song, let alone performed by Sarah McLachlan. If you know the Toy Story 2 song When She Loved Me, you know her beautiful voice. And having her to sing this was perfect. Major catch is not just some of the lyrics, but having her voice somewhat having an echo tone kind of felt like she has been auto-tuned. And for the parade, it was great, but the echo is still there. But you also kind of get a bit distracted with a kid holding a peace sign. But it is understandable because he was live on TV. And also, I like Sarah's hat and scarf that she wore for the parade. Sun comes up and shines so bright. But the rain, it doesn't make it feel like an ordinary miracle. But Sarah McLachlan does bring a miracle in her voice. Number 16. The Pharaoh Strut by Diana DeGarmo. After being the runner-up of Season 3 of American Idol, Diana DeGarmo was currently on Broadway's Hairspray as Penny. And instead of getting a contestant from that current season of the show, dressed in all in Pharaoh on the Tutstein float with the Phoenix Boys Choir, the former season contestant performs another original song by William Skimmerhorn, The Pharaoh Strut. As you can tell, out of all of Skimmerhorn's songs from this year, this was the best one, and I still say Jeff Timmons' rendition of Walk Like an Egyptian was the best out of the three performances on this float. Diana was fine, but I think the Phoenix Boys Choir kind of stole the show on her performance. They remind me of the Two-Scan Boys Choir performance 10 years ago. Coincidence that they're both choirs from Arizona. Unfortunately, like Give Me a Drum, the Pharaoh Strut is not on Skimmerhorn's SoundCloud page. And also when they were dancing, it almost looked like Tutstein was gonna fall. It could be true for all we know, but Dancing with Tutstein's Strut comes to an end of his journey in the Macy's Parade as he heads back to his sleep. Alright, I think this next one, a lot of you are going to be disagreeing of the placement I have with this one here, because a lot of people think it should be top 5 or top 10. And at number 15, The Best of Both Worlds from Hannah Montana by Miley Cyrus. If you know your Disney Channel history, 2006 had two big releases that both occurred in this year's Macy's Parade. One of them was the premiere of the TV show Hannah Montana, and the daughter of Billy Ray Cyrus, who performed back in the 2001 parade, Miley Cyrus, as her alter ego, celebrates her 14th birthday on Thanksgiving Day by performing in the Macy's Parade. And that is, of course, the theme song to the show, which is track number 1 of the Season 1 soundtrack of the show itself, that also got a single release, The Best of Both Worlds. Now, I know many of you are wondering why this is not high on this list. Well, first up, tough competition this year. Second, I don't remember much of the lyrics of the full version of the song, since I'm used to the shorter version because I did watch the show a couple of times. And third, I honestly think they should have done the short version we heard from the TV show for the parade performance instead of the beginning of the second verse of the full song. So, mixing Miley's birthday and Thanksgiving all together, and you got the best of both worlds for Miley Cyrus fans and Macy's Parade fans. And I know it's going to be an odd position of that, having with this song also topping over Miley Cyrus. But number 14 is Say Goodbye by Chris Brown. Before he had major legal issues and some views that people think about him, at age 17, Chris Brown just became a new R&B hip-hop artist with his debut album released a year prior, as he performs track number 13 and track number 7 in the Step Up soundtrack that also got a single release, Say Goodbye, a calmer breakup song to explain that everything he says, it's not her fault. His album did receive mixed reviews, but once again, this song is a positive. I will say I did kind of remember most of the lyrics, especially the main verse, and it didn't feel like those 5 minutes wasted my time. The parade performance definitely had a good portion, but the float left a little too early during his performance and could have kept the float still as it was going into commercial, like Natasha Bedingfield, who was on the float last year. There's never a right time to say goodbye, but it is the right time to say goodbye to those inflatable rhinos. Number 13, Four Walls by Cheyenne. Before she joined the band Gloriana, 16-year-old Cheyenne Kimball was just a solo country artist and a left-handed guitar player, by the way. Released her debut and only solo album in 2006 called The Day Has Come, with track number 6 that got a single release she performs, Four Walls. Minus the lyrics that I don't usually remember, the tone works so well with her style even through the 3.5 minutes of the song. But I think the parade performance is superior here. I don't know if it's just the lyrics that I do remember or the amount of NFL mascots on the screen, let alone right behind her. Must have been something sent out of my head with these words and these four walls again. Get myself ready what she will do with Gloriana in the parade 4 years from now. Number 12. With a little help from my friends by the cast of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Cartoon Network decided to make a change a bit in the parade by going from Hi Hi Puffy Yummy Yumi to Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, as the gang were set to premiere the TV movie that night, Good Wilt Hunting. Led by Blue, he, along with his friends, Wilt, Eduardo, and Coco, performs the Beatles' 1967 hit With a Little Help from My Friends. And yes, people, although the show itself is not a musical series, they did actually sing in the Macy's Parade. I like how crazy they went with it, especially their respective voice actors who actually sang the song, especially Keith Ferguson, the voice of Blue, even if the characters are actually puppets. It's not that these characters would perform a licensed song in the Macy's parade, but Blue can get a bit of help with a little bit of his friends, Wilt, Eduardo, and Coco. Also, a cheese cameo in the end. I like cheese! Number 11, I Got My Love to Keep Me Warm by the cast of the musical Irving Berlin's White Christmas. Ironically enough, 10 years ago was the last time that a cast members of a non-Broadway musical was in the parade, which were the two off-Broadway musicals Cowgirls and Coconuts, the former which actually did perform. And now the 2004 San Francisco musical Irving Berlin's White Christmas was on tour with its original cast, most notably Brian Darcy James, to perform the curtain call song I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm. What a great rendition of this classic song to the end of the musical, and the four actors had a great time. Only catch is that I wish we had mostly the ensemble on the float, and I would have finished the performance by doing the end of the number when they say, "And may all your Christmases be white." But don't worry, we'll see this musical again 2 years from now, this time spending their Christmas on Broadway. Number 10, The Show Must Go On by Julie Andrews. The legendary Broadway and film star Julie Andrews appeared in the parade mainly to promote her book, The Great American Mousical, which later got a stage musical, and a song she wrote on the book called The Show Must Go On, with the students of the School of American Ballet all dressed as mouses. As many of you might not know, Julie Andrews unfortunately cannot sing as she used to due to a vocal surgery she had back in 1997, which damaged her singing voice. But she still shows us with one of the most iconic voices we know today, and the song she wrote definitely had that nursery rhyme feeling, since she was on the Mother Goose float. Unfortunately, there is no way to find this song digitally, so it was a parade exclusive. Not rain, not sleet, nor snow will keep her from the show. Well, there's no business like show business, as Julie Andrews' legacy must go on. Number 9, Just Say the Word by Josh Kelly. Pop and blues rock singer Josh Kelly released his third album that would be the title song he performs, which is track number 3 of the album, Just Say the Word. A lot of the lyrics are actually really good, and his voice just gives you the modern blues feeling, even if the pacing works so well, even if it has 4 minutes. The parade performance, I think, could have finished it off when they were going into commercial, as it was building up the yeah part of the song if you have listened to it. When everything's wrong and nothing's going right, it's not hard to find Josh Kelly to just say the word. Like the best of both worlds, here comes another song why it's not on the top 5. At number 8, We're All in This Together by the cast of High School Musical. The other major event in 2006 for Disney Channel was the beginning of that year with the release of their biggest TV movie ever, High School Musical. 10 months later, 4 of the cast members, Corbin Bleu, Ashley Tisdale, Lucas Garbell, and Monique Coleman, without the 2 official leads, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens, becomes the first celebrity rosters of the 2006 parade by performing the finale number from the movie, which is track number 9 of the standard soundtrack, We're All in This Together. I will admit, I have a bit of a nostalgic for at least High School Musical 2, this song, and I did have a crush on Sharpay, more on her look specifically. So I really do enjoy this song, but the parade performance, it's kind of odd to hear that the cast sang the first set of songs that were performed by the 2 actors that were not there. Which is kind of understandable for Zac Efron because he was probably busy filming the movie Hairspray at the time. And I think they could have gone a little longer also doing the second set of lyrics that Lucas and actually do perform in the number. Wildcats everywhere. Wave your hands up in the air. That's the way you do it to get the 80th parade to start the hype. Number 7, Another Sunny Day by the cast of Sesame Street. From the live stage show to the Macy's parade, the cast members of Sesame Street performs the opening number of the Sesame Street live show Out of This World with Another Sunny Day. I do think that this is one of the best performances of Sesame Street's history in the parade. It's more of the ensemble altogether singing it, minus the beginning. Now, in the original version of the live show, I honestly think it's odd. But remember, none of the human actors from the show are part of the live stage shows. And despite of the rain in the parade, Big Bird managed to appear on the float unlike he did back in 1990's 8 and 99, this time in front of the 123 door, and all the Muppets are in the building, including their new friend, Abby Gadabby. Also, I like the additional line for Oscar here, because it was not mentioned in the show, so I do prefer the parade performance over the live show version, although I think it could have another set of lyrics. There's so much to discover, so come on out and play on another light nor other sunny day, or should I say another dark nor other rainy day on Thanksgiving Day. Number 6, America the Beautiful by Renee Fleming. 2006 marked the 120th birthday of the symbol of New York City, the Statue of Liberty. And to honor the Lady in the Harbor, Renee Fleming, along with the Air Force Academy Band and Choir, carrying flags of all 50 states, performs together with Fleming's soprano voice, America the Beautiful. Wow. Her voice, I'm telling you, I can't tell if she lip-synced that or what. That looked real, you could tell, on her charisma and why she could do opera. The music for the Air Force Academy sounded great. The choir, they could have done a little bit more voices for them instead of just saying, America, America. As sparks glow through her torch, say happy birthday to the Lady of America from sea to shining sea. Number 5, What the World Needs Now Is Love by Barry Manilow. In 2006, the legendary Barry Manilow returns to the parade since 1990, released 2 compilation tribute albums with his renditions of classic songs. There's the greatest songs of the 50s and the greatest songs of the 60s, with the latter being the album choice as he performs the last track of his album, number 13, his rendition of the 1965 classic song written and produced by Burt Bacharach, What the World Needs Now Is Love, with sign language from World of Children. The pacing and the calming of his rendition is beautifully well done. I also felt like it was 4 minutes, but it was a little over 3. The parade performance I thought was fine. It's not because of World of Children, but I think they should have did like one more verse and ended with him saying, What the world needs now is love, sweet love, twice. Like it's in the album if you have listened to it. The world definitely needs the love story now as we're in a difficult 2020 decade. But 2006, I don't know if it was a stressful year or not, since I was only 6, but there was love for Macy's for its 80th parade. Number 4, Tu Amor by RBD. Latin group RBD released their first ever English album, Rebels, that did gain some mixed reviews, and one of the 3 songs that got a single release was track number 1 being their cover of John B's 1996 song, written by Diane Warren for all the Oscar viewers out there, Tu Amor. Unlike the album, there has been some praise for their cover of this song, mainly because the lead vocalist of the song, Kristen Chavez. There is a little bit of Latin in these lyrics, but mixing it with English is kind of us people being introduced to them with simple words in English to almost describing who this group is, and you might follow their career. The parade performance is fine as well. I think it might have a different approach of the lyrics of what I can choose for them, mainly the beginning part of the song. With words I understand to best describe what RBD feels in their heart, for the words to let us know, Tu Amor, meaning your love. Number 3, Always look on the bright side of life by the cast of Broadway Spamalot. Based on the 1975 classic film Monty Python and the Holy Grail, The World of Monty Python came to Broadway last year, starring Tim Curry as King Arthur, glowing reviews, and winning the Tony for Best Musical, Spamalot. A year later, Curry went to do the show in the West End, and other actors left the show as well, leaving the current cast replacement members performing in the parade, which is the opening number of Act 2, the most recognizable song from any Monty Python fan out there, originally from the movie Monty Python's Life of Brian that was brought to Spamalot. Always look on the bright side of life. Every time when I get to this number specifically, I'm always in a happy mood. I mean, the way they used the song in the King Arthur story was a perfect placement for it at the start of Act 2. Even though it's not the original cast members, I actually did like the current cast performance for the parade. And if you haven't listened to the song from the cast recording album, you know why they didn't do King Arthur solo, because a swear word's in it. And the fact that it is Monty Python, you can't go away with jokes, and at the end they bring out and said, "Turkey!" at the end, which was funny. Speaking of the ending, my only critique is, where did these young ladies came from and dressed too sexy? They were never in the number at all. If things will turn out for the best, if things in your life go bad, always look on the bright side of life brings us the best Broadway performance of 2006. Number 2, Home for Christmas by Daryl Hall and John Oates. Legendary rock-pop duo Daryl Hall and John Oates, or Hall and Oates for many of you, released their 18th and, as of 2023, their recent album they've made and their first Christmas album, as they perform one of the original songs, track number 5, the title song of the album, Home for Christmas. This song is a bit long at 5 minutes, and it works as a calm Christmas song that makes you want to sing some of the lyrics to. And this is one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs. The parade performance could have ended not as quickly and just add a bit of the ending phrase of the song, and it would make sense for the float to move at the end. Whether it's easy or not for your journey to treat you kind or mean, you will always confine your way home for Christmas to be with your family also on Thanksgiving Day. And my number 1 song from the 2006 Macy's Parade is, if you cannot guess already, Year 3000 by the Jonas Brothers. 3 brothers named Joseph, Kevin, and Nicholas formed a band together and released their first album, It's About Time. One of their big hits was the cover of a 2003 song from Busted in track number 3 in their debut album and number 13 in their self-titled album a year later, performing Year 3000 that also got a single release, The Jonas Brothers. When it comes to covers, it comes out in 2 ways in your opinion. Either not as good as the original, or better. I can agree that the Jonas Brothers cover of the song was better than the original from Busted, which is interesting because both of the bands would perform the song together at the Capitol Summertime Ball in 2019. This is also the easiest song to remember the lyrics to, and I prefer Girls with Round Hair instead of Triple Women Swimming Around Town, and from Outsold to Michael Jackson, the original, to Kelly Clarkson in the cover. The parade performance was great, because you can see the brothers, especially Joe, having a great time. Even the cast of Fetch with Rough Men were getting into it by clapping one of the set of the lyrics. I took a trip to the year 3000, this song had got multi-platinum, everybody bought their 7th album, it had outsold by the best song of 2006. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this episode, you can hit that subscribe button and comment down below your personal ranking on these 27 songs. Next episode, we are going into the year that made me an official Macy's Parade fan with 2007.